So let's talk about something we all went through, but rarely get to see from the inside: how we actually learn to argue. I mean, not just to shout an opinion, but to actually build a case, defend a position, and really truly take a stand. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on the actual blueprint for how an 8th grade class is taught to do just that. Okay, let's get into it.
Everything, and I mean everything, kicks off with this single question. But this isn't just some throwaway prompt for a journal. No, this is the essential question that holds up an entire unit in a textbook. It's the North Star for every single reading, every activity, and every debate that's coming. It's all designed to help a student forge their own answer to this. You know, before you can build a house, you need your tools: a hammer, nails, a saw. Well, it's the same thing with an argument. Before you can build one, you need the right words. So the very first part of this blueprint is all about systematically giving these students a powerful language toolkit. And the lesson plan is super clear about this. An argument is so much more than just saying what you feel. It's a craft. It's something you build. And the very first step is to master the specific, you could say academic, vocabulary you need to put together a solid, convincing case. It's all about making that leap from "I think" to "I argue." Now, what's really fascinating is how the book teaches these words. It doesn't just throw a definition at you. It takes you right down to the root. So a retort isn't just a clever comeback. You see, the root, tort, means to twist. So a retort is literally about twisting someone's words right back at them. Suddenly the word has this physical, memorable feeling to it, right? And they do the exact same thing here, and it's just as brilliant. A candid comment? Yeah, it's honest. But when you know the root "canned" means to shine or white, you get this incredible mental image of a statement that literally shines a bright light on the truth. It's about connecting words to these bigger, deeper ideas, not just, memorizing for a test. And all this work, it leads to this really cool tool called the word network. As the students go through the unit, they're actively collecting words that are relevant, words like democratic or censored. The key is, it's not some pre-made list they're given. Each student is building their own personal dictionary, their own lexicon. The goal here is all about ownership. These aren't just vocabulary words anymore. They're that student's own tools, ready to be used.
Okay, so you've got your new toolkit. Now it's time to get your hands dirty. The lesson plan moves from just learning words to a real-world battlefield of ideas: the super controversial New York City soda ban. This is where they put the tools to the test.
So first, students read this perspective from the philosopher Sarah Conley. Her argument is basically about the social contract. Yeah, okay, you might lose a tiny bit of freedom, the freedom to buy a massive soda, but it's for the greater good of public health. It's a classic needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few kind of argument. And then bam, immediately the unit hits them with the counterpoint. The writer Katrina Trenko argues, hold on, this isn't about health, it's about freedom and character. Her whole point is that we only grow as people when we have the liberty to choose for ourselves, even if we make a bad choice. She wouldn't trade that for being treated like a child.
Okay, so here's the really important part. The students aren't being pushed to pick a winner. The point of the lesson isn't which side is right. It's how are these two arguments constructed. They're being taught to see that both sides are actually arguing about deep, valid values: public well-being on one hand and personal freedom on the other. The goal is deconstruction, not just picking a side.
And this is where another brilliant tool comes in: the evidence log. Students don't just pick their favorite side. No, they are required to find and write down the strongest points and the best evidence for both sides of the soda debate. This is what's so smart about it. It forces them to really engage with the opposition, to understand it from the inside out before they're allowed to form their own opinion. It's like a direct vaccine against confirmation bias. All right, so after they've grappled with this really tough, abstract debate, the unit does something clever. It pivots. It shifts from the world of ideas and arguments to the world of concrete action. It shows what taking a stand can look like in real life with this incredibly powerful story. Meet Barrington Irving. His story is just a masterclass in what it means to be determined. He meets a pilot, a dream is sparked, and from that moment on, he refuses to let anyone or anything stop him. He turns down a full football scholarship just so he can wash airplanes to earn money for flight lessons.
He gets rejected for sponsorships, not once, not twice, over 50 times. But he keeps going. And at just 23 years old, he makes history.
And if his story wasn't already unbelievable, get this. When Barrington Irving actually took off on his 97-day record-breaking flight around the entire planet, he had $30 in his pocket. 30. That's it. I mean, that one little detail just makes this huge, historic achievement feel so incredibly real and so much more astonishing. And his own words, man, they just bring the whole theme of the unit full circle. He didn't just have an opinion about his dream. He took a stand for it with every single action he took. His story is the ultimate example of what pure determination and belief in yourself can accomplish.
So we've had the vocabulary, we've had the intense debate, we've had the real-world story of inspiration. Now we're at the final stage of this whole educational blueprint. This is where the student has to put all those pieces together and forge their own voice. So the final assignment is this performance-based assessment. And it's not just, hey, write an essay. It's a very clear step-by-step process. You have to state a clear claim. You have to back it up with logic and evidence you've gathered. And here's the kicker. You have to acknowledge and address the counterclaims using that evidence log they worked on earlier. It's the ultimate synthesis of every single skill they've picked up along the way.
And there you have it, the whole journey, laid out. It starts with one big anchoring question. Then it gives you the language tools you need to even talk about it. It throws you into the middle of clashing, complex ideas. It shows you what taking a stand looks like in the real world. And the final step, the entire point of this whole machine, is to empower a student not to just spit back a pre-approved answer, but to construct their very own well-reasoned, thoughtful response. It's a blueprint for independent thought.
So of course, we have to turn that question back to you. You've seen the blueprint, you've seen the tools for how to break down an argument and how to build your own. So what is it? What's the issue, the idea, the principle that you would take a stand for? What really matters to you?